All right, let's see here. Hello, beautiful people. Welcome to another late one. We're doing another night stream. Um, as you can probably guess, and especially those of you who have been following me for a while, the new sleep schedule didn't last very long. You know, we've been doing this for 6 years now, right? You're used to this. So we're here at almost midnight, a couple minutes to midnight my time. So another late one, another night stream for you guys. We have the stream appropriately set up for that. We've got our owl and our moon and our what is that, like a nighttime forest vibes going on. So it's going to be a cozy one. It's going to be a good one. But welcome everybody to another night stream. I hope you're all doing fantastic. We're going to see who gets first in chat. We got Vanessa. What is up, Vanessa? Hope you're doing fantastic. Welcome to the stream. We'll see who comes in second. Tonight, guys, we're going to be talking about anxiety recovery. The more you don't feel like it, the more you should. That's going to be the topic of tonight's stream. You're going to be hit with some truths. You're going to be hit with some facts, and what you do with those truths and those facts is completely up to you. But it will make the difference in the end. We got Bunny coming in second. What's up, Bunny? Christopher, right? Christopher, I hope you don't mind if I continue to call you Chris or Christopher, because that's what I've known you as for so long now. I don't know if I can get used to the name change, to be honest. Charles coming in third. What's up, Charles? Third in chat. Hey, Wonder Bro. Hello, Charles. Welcome, dude. So we're going to take a second to send out some notifications. Shouldn't take me but a second here. And then, let's see. And then we'll get started here soon. Alright, let's see. Alright, we'll send that out. Send that out there. Alright. I don't trust my notification bell, to be honest. So I always try to send out some notifications myself. Is the mic giving me problems tonight? It stays in the same spot, so if it's giving me any problems, it might be something on my computer, on my OBS. You can continue calling me Christopher. Okay, yeah, because I'm not so sure I can get used to the name change. So if that's okay with you, that's what we'll do. If that's okay with you, that's what we'll do. All right. Notifications. Hey, Wonder Bro, 5 a.m. here in Blackpool, UK. What's up, Martin? How you doing, dude? Hope you're doing fantastic. Almost 5 a.m. in the UK. Okay. Yeah, it's just now turning midnight here. So, just now turning midnight. We'll give it a minute. Let some people get in here and want to watch us live, and then we'll go ahead and get started. How's everyone doing tonight, though? How is everyone doing? Alright, make sure that's sent out. Let's get that yawn out early. I'm not even remotely tired. I don't know where that came from. Alright, guys. Check on chat. Let's go ahead and get this one started. I feel like we've got enough people in here to get started, so let's do this. Anxiety recovery. The more you don't feel like it, the more you should. This little reminder right here, and that's really what this whole stream is going to be about. This little reminder, the more you don't feel like it, the more you should, of course, is a nod at behaviors, right? It's a nod at positive behaviors. It's a nod at living. You guys know that the two main keys here are the accepting inner voice, right? We talked about, pairing your negative thinking with a new accepting thinking. And then the second is live your life. So this stream is mostly aimed at the live your life part of the equation, right? Part of the equation. So the more you don't feel like it, the more you should. Let me explain exactly what it is I mean by that. Everyone who's been here for a while, right, knows that we love that old saying, anxiety learns while anxiety is turned on. Like, that's one of our favorite go-to quotes to say here on the channel. Anxiety learns while anxiety is turned on. And it's so true. You don't have access to those pathways, right? You don't have access to those fear pathways. You don't have access to the part of the brain that you desperately need to retrain unless that anxiety is there. So it's so true. Anxiety learns while anxiety is turned on. Now here's the thing. Here's the catch about that, right? There's always got to be a damn catch. Here's the catch about that. It's all great and stuff, knowing that anxiety learns while anxiety is turned on. Like, that's fantastic. But the problem is, and the problem that most people run into, they don't feel like it. Why would you feel like doing any of the things you want to do when your anxiety's turned on, right? Why would you feel like doing what we call positive behaviors or doing what we call living your life when your anxiety is turned on? You don't feel like it, and who can blame you? Who feels like doing much of anything when their anxiety is turned on, right? So there's the catch. Everybody knows, okay, if you've been here for a while, anxiety learns while anxiety is turned on. That's when you have access to do the retraining work. That's great, but you don't feel like it, right? Which brings me to the title of tonight's stream. The more you don't feel like it, the more you should. And the reason behind that is because if you really don't feel like getting up and living and doing positive behaviors and dropping the coping methods and the compulsions, right? If you really don't feel like doing all that stuff, if there's a moment, and show of hands in chat, I'm sure you guys can all relate to what I'm about to say. If there's a moment when you're sitting there and you're like, wow, I could get up and do this, or I could do that, or I could do this, or I could do that, or I could stop doing this compulsion or stop doing this coping method. You think to yourself something like that, but at the end of the day, you just don't feel like it. There's some moments where no amount of money in the world would make you want to do these things, these positive behaviors, right? You just have no interest in them. There's a total lack of interest. You just don't feel like it. You feel like crap, right? Which again brings me to the point of tonight's stream, guys. The more you don't want to do it, the more you should, because the more you don't want to, that tells me that your anxiety is really, really turned on at the moment, right? Really, really turned on at the moment. So the more you don't want to do it, the more you should, because if you really, really don't want to, there's a good chance that you're really, really anxious, that you've got a lot of anxiety that's turned on at the moment. And if you've got a lot of anxiety that's turned on at the moment, that is when you have the absolute highest chance of communicating with the part of your brain that is responsible for that anxiety. So what happens is we see a lot of people willing to do the practice, willing to do the work when they somewhat feel like it. Like, I can make myself do this when I somewhat feel like it. We've got people willing to do the work when they feel like it. Hey, today's a pretty good day. I feel like it. We've got people willing to do the work when they think to themselves, I feel kind of crappy, but I can manage. The problem is we've got to get more people willing to do it when they absolutely don't feel like it, right? When they absolutely don't feel like it, because that's when it's going to matter the most. Again, we come back to that famous quote that we love to say here on the channel: anxiety learns while anxiety is turned on. So the more you sit there and you think to yourself, man, I really don't feel like doing A, B, C. I just want to continue doing negative coping methods and compulsions because I really just don't feel like it. If you're having one of those moments, or if you have one of those moments pretty often, we've got that, that simply means we've got tons of opportunities to put in a lot of retraining work, right? But you got to make yourself do it. You got to make yourself do it. So the more you don't want to, the more you should, because that's the moments where it's really going to count. That's the moments where it's really going to matter. That's the moments where you're going to score the most points, right? So it's excellent if you're kind of 50-50 right now. That's a start. It's excellent if you've already taken those first steps and you're to a point where some days you make yourself do the work and some days you don't. That's okay. At least it's a start. That's excellent. But in order to really get where we want to go, right? In order to get where we really want to be, we're going to have to step it up from I'm willing to do it when I somewhat feel like it, but I'm not willing to do it when I don't feel like it. We've got to turn all of those opportunities. We got to capitalize on all those opportunities, right? We have to capitalize on all those opportunities. Again, back to our quote that we love so much: anxiety learns while anxiety is turned on. So next time, and here's a little pointer for you. Next time you're hanging out, you're minding your business, and you think to yourself, wow, anxiety's really high today. Anxiety's really intense today, and I really don't feel like doing any of those things that, that dude on the internet named Wonder Bro tells me about. I know that, I need to take the trash out. I need to stop doing this compulsion. I need to stop doing this coping method. I need to get up and make myself live life like I know I need to. I just really don't feel like it. Next time you find yourself in one of those moments, guys, I want you to think back to the stream, and I want you to remind yourself, oh, yeah, that's right. When I really don't feel like it is when I really, really should, because that's when I'm going to score the most points, right? Now, that's not to say that you have to be perfect, and that's not to say that on the days where you feel somewhat okay and you're following the advice that you're not making progress. You are making progress. If you're using the advice, even if you feel up to it, then that's great. That's great. If you're using the advice even when you feel up to it, then that is great. But you're going to make the most progress, right? You're going to make the most progress when you do the things you don't feel like doing on the days when you feel really, really bad. That's where you're going to make the most progress. You're still making progress if you're using the advice, 50-50. But we need to step it up a little bit. You're going to make the most progress when you're doing these things on the days where you just really don't want to. And everyone in chat can relate to that. I'm sure you've had plenty of days where you just really don't want to. Anxiety is too high. You just really, really don't want to. Right? I'm sure everybody can relate to that. But again, when you don't feel like it is when you should the most, change doesn't just pop down into your lap. Right? Change doesn't just fall out of the sky and say, "Hello, I'm change. I'm here, and I'm your life has changed." No, change only happens, right, if you take the steps towards it. So, don't get stuck in knowing what you're supposed to do but not doing it. Don't get stuck in desiring change but not going after it. A lot of people desire change and they wait way too long, and then the change never happens, and they think, well, I desired that change for so long. Why didn't it just fall into my lap? Because it doesn't work that way, right? It's not going to fall into your lap. You can desire a new life all you want, but the new life's got to be sculpted. The new life's got to be created. You can want a new life for days, weeks, months, and years on end, but the new life's got to be created, right? And I know some of you are thinking, well, that's obvious, Wonder Bro. But when we get lost in the moments, we tend to forget that, right? We tend to forget that knowing the advice is not enough. We got to do it. We tend to forget that having all this anxiety knowledge is not enough. We've got to use it, right? We tend to forget the obvious things on the days where we really just don't want to. So the main point of tonight's stream, guys, is when your anxiety is really high, right? When your anxiety is really high and you really just don't feel like doing positive behaviors, you really just want to continue doing the coping methods and the compulsions, those are the days where you're going to score the most points if you just remind yourself, hey, this is an opportunity. Wonder Bro said, when I really don't feel like it is when I really, really should, right? Again, and why is that? Why do I say that? I say that because coming back to our favorite little catchphrase there, anxiety learns when anxiety is turned on, right? So if you really don't feel like living your life, using the positive behaviors, cutting out the coping methods, cutting out the compulsions, so forth and so on, if you find yourself in a moment where you really just don't feel like it, you need to remind yourself, wait, that's a good sign. It's a good sign that I really don't feel like doing these things. Because that obviously means, right, I probably got some anxiety going on. I probably got some resistance going on. I probably got some not so great pathways firing off right now. If I really don't feel like doing these things, there's a good chance that my brain is currently in its prime, ready to learn. It's prime time, right? If I really don't feel like doing these things right now, that's a good sign, because that means, due to not feeling like doing it, that means my brain is probably in a state where it's really willing to learn. So you purposely go against not feeling like doing it because you know You know the fact that you don't feel like doing it is a sign that your brain is primed and ready to learn something new, right? So people tend to look at not feeling like it as a bad thing. Oh, I just don't feel like it, and I guess I'll just not do it because I just don't feel like it, and you know, then they overthink it, and we're thinking, nothing's being done. We're just thinking. They tend to look at not feeling like it as a very bad thing, but you need to look at it as an opportunity. Next time you don't feel like living and doing these positive behaviors, right, you need to say, oh, wait a minute. It's a good thing that I don't feel like it, because that means my brain's willing to learn something new. My brain is in an anxiety state right now. That's why I don't feel like it, but that also means that it's ready to learn. It's ready to learn, so I'm going to take advantage of this opportunity rather than look at it as a negative thing, right? So again, when you really don't feel like it is when you really, really should. That's where you're going to score the most points. This is not a stream to try to tell anybody, hey, you know, what you've been doing so far doesn't count towards anything, right? You felt like doing it, so you did it, but you're not doing it when you don't feel like it, so shame on you. You're not making any progress. That's not what I'm trying to say. I'm simply trying to say that it's on the really, really tough days where you really, really should get going. It's on the really, really tough days when you really, really should do the work, right? Should do the work. So when you really don't feel like it, you really need to do it. When you really don't feel like it, your brain is really learning. When you really don't feel like it, you really need to take advantage. Right? Does everybody get what I'm saying? Can I get a show of hands? Can I get some emojis in chat? Show of hands. Does everybody get where I'm going with this? I'm not here tonight to try to shame anybody for not doing 100% of the work. I'm just here to try to open your eyes and say, hey, when you don't feel like it, that's when you should be doing it, because your brain's in a prime state to learn something new. When you don't feel like it, that's when you should be doing it, because that anxiety learns while anxiety's turned on. So I'm trying to get you guys to change your perspective. And really, that's what this whole channel's all about, right? I'm trying to get you guys to change your perspective. I'm trying to get you to see not feeling like it as a good opportunity. I'm trying to get you to see that not feeling like it is a perfect chance. I'm trying to get you to see that not feeling like it is a perfect opportunity for you to say, well, I'm going to do it anyway, because I know my brain in this state, especially when I don't feel like it, is so ready to learn. It's so ready to learn. It's like a sponge. Anxiety learns while anxiety's turned on. Take advantage of that when it's there, when it's turned on, when it's intense, right? I know you don't feel like it, but again, title of the stream, I'm like a broken record right now. When you really don't feel like it is when you really should. So, I hope this maybe helps somebody change their perspective towards all this stuff. I hope, next time you really just don't feel like getting up and going and doing whatever it is, whatever your positive behaviors are, right? Everybody's lifestyle is different. But on those days when you really don't feel like it, I hope maybe you think back to this stream and it gives you just enough motivation to turn your day around, right? To turn your day around. So, again, that's mostly what this channel is here for, is to try to help people change their perspectives, to try to help people see this in a new light, to try to change your attitude, and to try to do the work, right, when it matters the most. So if you did enjoy the point of tonight's streams, you guys, I can't talk, I'm tongue-tied. If you did enjoy the point of tonight's stream, you guys, please leave a thumbs up. I would really appreciate it. It does help me out. It does help the channel grow. So thank you so much for that. We're going to put on some tunes. We're going to choose something relaxing tonight, since it is a late one. And then we're going to hang out with chat, read some comments, all that good stuff. So thank you guys so much again for watching. Oops, I clicked on the wrong one. Let me switch that over real quick. And then we'll finally get around to reading our chat. All right. There we go. So we'll get that playing. Then we'll see what we got going on in chat here. Where's my desktop volume? I know it's here somewhere. There we go. Okay, that's better. Ever feel like it takes too long to recover? Well, that in itself is a very negative inner voice, right? That can lead to a lot of negative thinking, which again, Mr. Amygdala is not very fond of. So try to keep that in mind. We can overthink everything when it comes to recovery, including time frames. But all that's going to do is make Mr. Amygdala not very happy with you. So try to keep that in mind. It's ironic in that way. Background is amazing. Thank you. Let's see. What if you don't feel like it, you don't want to, like you figure out, you just, well, that's the thing about positive behaviors. I don't have a set list of positive behaviors for you to do, right? I give plenty of examples, don't get me wrong. I give plenty of examples here on the channel, but I don't say you've got to have this checklist and this checklist. So you find what your positive behaviors are. Your positive behaviors could be sitting in the fetal position picking your nose. Like, I don't know. You figure out what your positive behaviors are. You figure out what brings you joy. You figure out what brings you happiness. You figure out what you would rather do besides coping methods and compulsions, and you do those things. You don't have to use my examples. You don't have to use anybody else's examples, right? Your positive behavior could be playing jump rope, and somebody else's positive, and there's millions of positive behaviors, right? But just start to do what you enjoy. Start to do what you like, as long as it's not a coping method, as long as it's not a compulsion, right? We call those negative behaviors. As long as it's not a compulsion or a coping method, you figure out what you want to do and you do those things. You don't have to follow anybody else's list, right? You don't have to follow anybody else's checklist. We don't have any set positive behaviors here. We just tell people, hey, if it's not a coping method, if it's not a compulsion, if you enjoy doing it, if it brings you joy, if it's something that you enjoy and it's positive, do those things, right? We just say those things because it's very personal for everybody, right? Again, as long as it doesn't consist of negative behavior like coping methods and compulsions, you find what you like and you run with it. And you run with it, girl, right? You find what you like and you run with it. You do not have to do something just because I gave an example of it once, right? Let's see. You figure out what you enjoy in this life, right? That's nobody else's opinion on that is relevant, right? We can give so many examples of what a living your life means. We can give so many examples of what a positive behavior is. But everybody's different, right? Everybody's different. So as long as it's not negative, as long as you're not doing it out of anxiety, you go for it. Wonder Bro, what do you think about drinking? Horrible, awful, not good for your nervous system. The thing about it is that will keep you feeling really rough if you become dependent on alcohol, right? And everybody here is a grown adult. Don't let me tell you what to do. But the thing about drinking is it's the hangover that fucks up the nervous system, and I don't mean that in like a permanent way. Obviously not permanently fucking up your nervous system, but it's horrible for your nervous system. It's absolutely horrible for your nervous system. Heavy amounts of alcohol does your nervous system no good. In fact, a lot of people that are dependent on alcohol as a way to cope with anxiety only become worse because of it. So here's the thing. If you're a heavy drinker, I personally would recommend that you try to cut back a little bit, right? Maybe not cold turkey. I don't know if you're a full-blown alcoholic. I'm not here to judge, but maybe cut back a little bit because it's not good for your nervous system. Alcohol does have a real physical effect on the nervous system, specifically the hangover portion of drinking alcohol. So is one beer a day going to kill you? No. But if you're drinking heavily each and every day, you might want to consider getting some help for that because it's just not good for your nervous system at all. I know you said I love it, but I don't want to do it as a coping method. It wouldn't be a good coping method anyway because it fucks you up. it fucks you up. So, and again, I don't mean that in like a super negative way, like, oh, you're permanently screwed up and you're causing permanent damage. There's no such thing as that. It's not permanent damage. It's just that your hangovers are not going to be fun. You said definitely an alcoholic, so you're probably already aware that your hangovers are not fun and it's not doing you any favors for your nervous system. So my advice there would be, if you're full-blown alcoholic, of course, cold turkey is not a good idea, but maybe you could reduce a little bit, right? A little less, a little less, a little less, because again, alcohol does have a real physical effect on the nervous system. Can you recover and drink? Yes. Can you drink and recover? Yes. But if it's excessive, personally, I would try to cut back a little bit. You might see that, hey, maybe that's what you were missing. Maybe that's what your recovery is missing. But I hope you see what I mean there. So I just want to go to the beach with all y'all. Yes, some beach time. Scroll up a little bit. I really do enjoy the accomplished feeling. Yeah, I do enjoy the accomplished feeling. That's probably my favorite part of cleaning. Bo, what's up, dude? How you doing? I didn't know you were in the stream. I'm behind on comments here, guys. I do hate hangovers. It's the worst. Yeah, like I said, you know, can you drink and recover? Yes. Can you recover then drink? Yes, sure. But if it's excessive, maybe it's something you can look into, and maybe it's something you can work on, because alcohol is typically not very good for the nervous system, but you already know that by now, right? You probably already know that by now, so I'm not really telling you anything new. Maybe it's just something that you can work on and become more mindful of. Maybe try to consume a little bit less, right? A little bit less might go a long way for you. Might go a long way for you. Up to you, of course. I can't tell anyone, you know, what they should or should not do, but 3 weeks telling you I could never be one of the happy people enjoying the beach. I literally just had the urge to go and be one of those people. I mean, you can see change, right? You can see change happening right before your eyes. That's something to be happy about. That's something to be very excited about. I love it. I love it. Love it, love it, love it. Blood test to rule out. Oh, no. We got an ad. Skip that. Test that could be wrong with me. A doctor wants to finally rule everything else. Very nervous. Think about it this way, Charles. No matter the results of anything, no amount of thinking about it tonight's going to change those results, right? No amount of thinking about it tonight's going to change anything in the world, much less your test results. So I know that's easier said than done, but try to get into the moment. Try to get into your life now, right? Pair that negativity with the accepting inner voice and try to live tonight, you know, even in just little ways. Try to do something other than so many anxiety-riddled activities, right? It'd be so nice to go to the beach with y'all, bring me comfort, and it'd be great. Beach road trip. Doing all right, buddy, and yourself? I'm doing good, dude. Thank you for asking. Thank you, thank you. All right, give me just a second here, guys. Keep your comments coming. Any questions, keep them coming, and I will be right back. All right, sorry for that interruption, but we are back. I was like, should I have stayed anxious? Well, the thing about it is you left your phone at the store, you ran back and got it, and once you got it, you stopped the negative thinking because you got the phone, so the quote-unquote danger was gone, right? Oh, funny how second fear works. Funny how second fear works. Let's see. Did you shoot me a message on Facebook, Anarchy? Emo goth poet chick 3 weeks ago wanting to go to the shop party and stay at a beach. There you go. I've been learning that yoga is pretty much like acceptance. Sit there and feel the feelings. Yoga's interesting. I can't say that I've done a whole lot of it myself, but it's definitely interesting. You'll notice that a lot of these things come back to acceptance. You'll notice that a lot of these things come back to acceptance. Let's see. Already read that comment from Charles. Video games for sure. Are we talking about video games? Now that's a topic I can talk about for quite some time. All right, I don't think there's any more questions in chat. I think we got them all. I might really stuffy nose today. I don't know if it's allergies or what. Martin says just pairing. Yes, the pairing stream has left an impact on you. I don't know, it kind of rings some bells. I sort of kind of remember your name, Anarchy. Oh, why is there so many ads tonight? I sort of kind of remember your name. Didn't you used to watch like way back when and made like a ton of progress? Maybe just have some loose ends to tie up now? Kind of at the point now where I feel I don't have time to think about if I'm doing something right or wrong. I just want to live. There you go. I mean, that's one way to go about it. That's actually a very good way to go about it. Really nothing, there's really nothing to figure out or overthink on, right? It's just a matter of, you know what, I just want to live. In fact, the overthinking is probably what you've done for a while, and now there's no time for it. It's just time to get into the living part of the equation. So it's actually a really good thing. I like that. It's going to be on my way on living in the now instead of focusing on tomorrow. Yes, sir. Yes, sir, Charles. I think allergies, man. Everyone seems stuffy or runny nose today. Yeah, that's probably what it is. It's probably what it is. Can't hear you well. How do I sound in chat, guys? Can everybody hear me okay? Is it on my end or is it on Remy's end? Help us figure this out. How do I sound? How do I sound? Mic check. Mic check. 1, 2. One, two, 1, 2. 1, 2. Lesson part, any suggestions for anticipatory feelings about a trip? I feel basically no fear of sensations usually, but hard to quiet my mind on this. Presence. Presence is one way you can word it. Presence is one term that you can use. We just did a stream the other day called pairing, which is something that you can use. That's the accepting inner voice, right? It's just worded a different way. So basically, if you notice any sort of negative thinking going on about this or that, try to remember that you can always pair that negative sort of thinking with something new. Accepting. You don't really want to argue with the details or the specifics of the thoughts or feelings, but you can pair that with some accepting statements to try to slow the roll, right, on the negativity, on the second fear. Can hear you okay, but I have you on my phone and AirPod. Okay, so one person can hear me okay. Why does sensitization return after healing? Well, it doesn't necessarily, right? Not for everyone. But I guess you're asking why can it? Why can it, or how can it? Bad habits, picking up bad habits again, right? That's the simple answer. You can make a ton of progress. You can heal and you can get those nerves to a pretty solid place. But if you pick up the negative thinking that you've done for years and you just do it all over again, right, then it's no wonder that you sort of end up back where you were again. So it kind of goes back to that whole, you can sensitize yourself, you can desensitize yourself. If you sensitized yourself once, of course it's possible to do again, but why would you want to do that, right? Oh, you're definitely not chained to anything. This is your journey, right? This is your journey. You make as much progress as you're happy with. If you're happy with less, take less, right? I don't want that for you. But if that's what you're happy with, right? And I don't think you want that for you either. But if that is the case, that is the case. But you're not chained to anything. I'm saying this because I don't want you to feel pressured or stressed. You're not chained to any sort of improvement, right? It's completely up to you. Soccer Mom, thank you so much for the $10 tip. Show some purple hearts in the chat. We're trying to get that to become a thing. Purple hearts show our gratitude. I want to go bungee jumping. Ooh, that would be quite a big one. Show some purple hearts in the chat, guys. Purple hearts for our tippers. It shows our gratitude. We're trying to make that into a thing. Help me out with that. Says, come on, everyone. If we make tip goal tonight, then we will have a half a year streak of tip goal. A half a year streak of tip goal if we hit tip goal tonight. Thank you so much, Soccer Mom. I appreciate you. Thank you for the $10 tip. Thank you. First tip of the night. I appreciate you. But yeah, Remy, you're definitely not chained to anything, right? This is your journey, whatever makes you happy makes you happy. If you want less, if you want more, if you want this, if you decide what you want and you go for it. Now, of course, there's going to be days where you just need a little bit of motivation because deep inside you do want more. You just can't seem to pull the motivation out of yourself, and that's fine. That's a big part of the reason why this channel even exists. But let's say, for example, if you're happy, truly content, I mean, truly content and happy and satisfied with where you are, and you don't want improvement, you don't want anything different for yourself, you are happy, well, then you're already where you need to be, right? You're already where you need to be. So no pressure, no pressure. Rick, thank you so much for the $5 tip. Appreciate you. Show some purple hearts. Show some purple hearts. Thank you, Rick. Thank you, Rick. Purple hearts, purple hearts, purple hearts. For tonight, I think I'm just going to be a normal... Well, you're always a normal person, right? Just because you're striving for more and you're trying to make positive changes in your life doesn't mean you're any less normal. But I get what you're saying. But you're always, you're always a normal person. And if you're content and happy with where you are, then that's all that matters. If you do want to improve and if you do want to make growth, then, we can work on that. We can make changes and you can go at your own pace and so forth and so on. But if you're truly, truly content, then that's fine too, right? All of this healing recovery stuff just comes down to trying to get people to have a better life, live a better life, feel better, right? And when it comes to anxiety, at least, right? So this is all about just trying to get people to a point where they've healed and they are satisfied and they are content with their lives. And if you feel like you've already hit that point, then you're already there, right? You're already accomplishing the main goals. So, but I get what you're saying. There's nothing to overthink. There's nothing to think about. And I like that you pointed that out because it's true. There is nothing to overthink. There is nothing to overthink about. Recovery is as simple as speaking to yourself in a better way, right? I'm going to try to put it as simply as possible. Speaking to yourself in a better way and doing things that you enjoy. That is recovery. You don't need to overthink it outside of that. You don't have to feel chained to it. You don't have to feel stressed. You don't have to feel pressured. If I'm being honest, I've been drinking a lot today. It either makes me feel really good or depressed. It just feels so different. I wish I could do better. You can. Anybody is capable, right? I understand that you've got this habit where you rely on alcohol as probably one of your biggest coping methods. And of course, I'm not going to tell you, hey, put down the bottle and never pick it up again all in one night. But you can start to become more conscious of it, right? You can start to maybe wean yourself a little bit or at least slow down a little bit, right? You don't have to do that all at once. You probably shouldn't. Do it slowly if that's something you want to do. But, yeah, you are capable. And a lot of people, pick up bad habits out of fear and out of trying to cope. And I don't think you should feel the least bit ashamed of that. I don't think you should feel the least bit ashamed of that, but just know that if you want to work on it, you absolutely are capable. So, Anarchy, thank you for the purple hearts. Rick, thank you for the purple hearts. Charles, purple hearts, thank you. Adrian, purple hearts, thank you. Appreciate you guys. Yes, the purple hearts, we're trying to make that a thing now. It shows gratitude to our tippers. Soccer Mom was right. If we hit tip goal tonight, guys, we will be at a half-a-year streak. That is absolutely insane. My anxiety is about having anxiety. Yeah, well, it's overthinking about anxiety itself, right? It's overthinking about the thought of anxiety itself. So that's where the cognitive intervention kind of comes into play. And by that, simply put, I mean the accepting inner voice. Start doing some pairing work, right? Pair that negative thinking with a new way of thinking and being. So, all right, let's see here. Hey, you're welcome to your anytime, Anarchy. Feel free to pop in, pop out. It doesn't matter. We got your back. We're always here. And thank you for watching. I appreciate you. Thank you. right, let's see. Who we still got in here in chat? Who is still with us? To me, it's odd. I can't really see much improvement day to day because the anxiety itself isn't that bad. It's not like I have to clear out cold cut compulsions. Why could I not do that? Why was that such a difficult thing for me to say? Or symptoms. Well, to be fair, right? To be fair, I think you just popped back up into the community, what, like 2 days ago? So you had some anxiety pop up 2 days ago? Yeah, I wouldn't be so quick to say, oh, I'm not seeing progress in 2 days' time, right? I would just leave it. Leave it alone, right? Leave it alone. Go back to what you've been doing, right? No need to go down any negative rabbit holes and trying to solve this or figure out that about, improvement or of course it's always beneficial and a great thing to notice your improvements if there is any noticeable improvements in the moment, but it's definitely not a beneficial thing to go any down sort of any negative rabbit holes if you're not noticing what you think you should be noticing right away. Pops up frequently. Yeah, those thoughts and that old sort of that's why we did the pairing stream, right? Those thoughts can seem like they pop up quite automatically and quite frequently, but always best to just leave that alone. Like you said in your comment, right? Wish I could figure out how to switch to. Let me see if I can figure it out. I don't know why I can't get my other mic to work. It's normally not a problem at all. Alright, one second, ladies and gents, 1 second. Alright, sorry about that. I can't get it figured out. I don't know why I can't get my other mic to work. Nothing like playing with Legos at midnight. How's everyone? What's up, dude? Legos are awesome. I love the Lego games. To be fair, what's the worst thing that can happen during panic anxiety attack? You scare yourself. That's it. That's it. You scare yourself. It's almost like there's a stead line of anxiety. Yeah, which is the case for most people. A lot of people that go through anxiety in general, they're not really they're not really hit with a ton of panic attacks. Most people just kind of have that anxiety to varying degrees, right? What era of gaming do you think? Let me make sure this mic is working now. Yeah, it is. We're good. Sorry, so many technical difficulties tonight. What era of gaming do you think had the greatest impact on you? For me personally, it was N64. I'm going to have to go with the N64 too, actually. I'm going to have to agree with you there. A lot of wrestling games on the N64. So much fun, so many good memories. So many good memories with the N64. It's either that, I was a little young, but it's either that or PlayStation 2, right? But I don't know, PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2, final answer. I feel like I've gotten the most hours in on PlayStation 2, probably, throughout my life. Probably gotten the most hours in on that. What's the worst thing that, forgive me if this question's a bit funny, I know exactly how you feel, but I've had so many panic attacks that I've grown immune. Well, it's one of those questions when somebody asks what's the worst thing that can happen to you during anxiety and panic, it's one of those questions that you can tell the person logically and rationally that, you scare yourself, you're not going to die, you're not going to go crazy. They're not necessarily going to believe that, right? It's one of those questions that are kind of just empty, because you can repeat to a person all day long that anxiety and panic is harmless, and you're not going to die, you're not going to go crazy. But as long as they continue to think that way, right? As long as they continue to think that way, they'll continue to scare themselves about it. So it's kind of one of those empty questions that, yeah, we can answer, but as long as they continue to think that way, it's not going to make a huge difference, no matter what we say, right? So the change kind of has to happen on an internal level. Yeah, scaring yourself, exactly, Adrian. Yeah, because let's be truthful with that question. What's the worst thing that can happen to you during anxiety and panic? Let's be truthful with that question. Guarantee it's not the first time. My boy Craig knows I love him. It's not the first time you've asked that question, right? It's not the first time you've answered that question, and it's not the first time you've Googled that question. In fact, you probably asked that question more times than you've I don't know, insert some sort of analogy here, but you get my point, right? It's just a habitual compulsion to ask the question, to be told that nothing will happen to you, just to continue still thinking that it will, right? And there's no way around that. No matter how many times we answer that question, there is no end to that question until said person sees for themselves that nothing's going to happen. Until that happens, right? Until the behaviors happen, the positive behaviors, and the change in thinking happens, the two keys, until the two keys happen, we can answer that question all day long. It's not going to make any sort of impact whatsoever. It's going to be very empty. So that's the thing about that particular question, right? And I totally understand. I totally understand why people ask that question. They want that reassurance. I get it, right? I get it. I totally understand. I totally get it. but it's just a very futile question. Now, maybe if it's your first time ever asking that question, I get it. You're trying to learn about anxiety and panic, but after a while, that question becomes a huge compulsion. Biggest fear that's sticky for me lately is my kids experience this. If you worry about it a little bit more, they might not, but you better make sure you do the worry. I'm just picking on you, Vanessa. Just picking. N64, another vote for N64. It was a great console. I mean, I have to say, it was a great console. There's simply no denying that. Got a lot of memories with N64, but see, I was a little bit younger for that. So, PlayStation 2 for me, I was still very young, but I can remember those memories a little bit better than I can in 64. I'm a living gaming encyclopedia. I have so many favorites. Sega Saturn is my favorite. Okay, that's an interesting choice. You don't hear that one very often. Sega Saturn. Wow, there's a lot of commercials in this music playlist tonight. Yeah, it's one of those things, Vanessa, where it's like we obviously know that the worry is not going to prevent anything from happening, but you still do it anyway, and it's out of habit, right? It's out of habit. So it's one of those things. Going to work makes me feel like they view me as different, even more they know dizziness this way, or hold on. They're calm. Well, as long as they're reacting to you in a calm way and not working you up even more, right? Where I vote, it's not like an actual vote. We're just taking opinions on best video game system. Sorry. Yeah, we don't have an actual poll up or anything, but we're just kind of taking personal opinions on best video game system. Someone said Sega Saturn. I think we got 2 votes, quote unquote votes, for N64, and I think I'm sitting at PS2. I think I got to go with the PS2. If I took an airplane ride and it was panicky all the way there, and they locked me up, what would even happen even more? Wow, Craig, you are deep down a rabbit hole right now. PlayStation 4. Remy says PlayStation 4. Okay, I've gotten a lot of hours in on the PlayStation 4, so I can't hate on that vote. I can't hate on it. I gotta respect it. I've got a lot of hours on the PlayStation 4. Try doing the acceptance attitude with other parts in life, not directly comfort them with acceptance to anxiety, but maybe acceptance of small wound. Okay, like gradually introducing the acceptance lifestyle in there. PS2 is like a road to Walmart. It will be here after the apocalypse. True. I know a lot of people still like hold on to their PS2s. There was just a lot of good games for it. A lot of good games for it. I remember coming home from school for the first time and seeing it. My dad had bought one. It's like blown away. It was like the graphics can't get any better than this. Oh, I was wrong about that. I grew up with PlayStation 2, but the 32-bit era is one of my favorites. I love all retro games. I love imagining being taken back in time before I was born and put myself in a different time. Experiencing a different generation, right? Could be interesting. Maybe one day if we discover time travel, that'd be something you could jump on. I always wanted a console, but seeing the price tag made me feel bad, as I know my parents live paycheck to paycheck. Understand, Adrian, and that's thoughtful of you. That is thoughtful of you. Yeah, they can be quite pricey. I will probably not be getting my hands on a PS5 or the new Xbox anytime soon. They're just too rare and hard to get, and absolutely ridiculously expensive. So, yeah, I'm right there with you. They are very expensive. I was born in 97, but I like imagining if I was born in the 80s or early 90s. Okay, cool. I was born in 93, so love the Nintendo and the Dreamcast too. The Nintendo, I've got some experience on the Nintendo, not so much the Dreamcast and the Genesis. I believe I played a little bit of Genesis. Some people in the family had the Genesis, but I don't think I ever personally owned one. First console that I actually personally owned was probably the Nintendo. We had a Nintendo in the house. My 8-year-old says her little voice always says, what if? I told her voice says, what if that's not her, and to let it pass. Seems I need to take my own advice, yes. I love the Dreamcast. Yeah, I never played much Dreamcast. So many good consoles, though. The retro consoles are great. And I think they're great for the reason that a lot of people's has nostalgia around them, right? Nostalgia is what makes these retro consoles so good. Don't get me wrong, there's plenty of games that are actually pretty decent for these retro consoles, but if you think about it, most of the games are really not that good. They're really not that good. Let's be honest, guys. Compared to what we have today, video game-wise, a lot of the old retro games, if you revisit them now, don't get me wrong, there's a few exceptions, but a lot of the games, if you revisit now, they're just not that good. So I think for a lot of people, it's just the nostalgia around the games. I don't know, but again, there is some good games, older games out there, but I think you get my point. Atari, okay. Atari has entered the chat. I didn't know if I'd see that or not, but Atari has entered the chat. I still remember the command/message register, Dawn Sky, PW email. I do remember the old MSN Messenger. Who remembers that? Wow, we're going down memory lane tonight. Who remembers MSN Messenger and Yahoo Messenger with all of their little goofy effects that you could send, like the knocking on the screen thing? The knocking on the screen. Who remembers that? The little jingle it makes when you get online, when you receive a message, all that good stuff. I can still pretty vividly remember those sounds. It's very, it's oddly comforting. Yes, MSN and AOL. I missed out on the AOL craze. When I was in middle school, MSN was like the go-to. Or at least it wasn't my school. I don't know. Maybe it was different from school to school. Maybe the groups of kids had different preferences. But in my school, the cool kids had MSN. So they were good for their time, for sure. Exactly. They were good for their time. But if you revisit some older games now, unless we're talking like Legend of Zelda and Mario and a few other exceptions, I truly believe that most games that you revisit these days are just, they don't hit the same. It's like, why did I play this? It's happened to me a few times, revisiting old games. Jasmine, thank you for the $5 Cash App. Enjoying the nostalgia. Well, I appreciate that. Thank you for the $5 Cash App. Thank you. That takes us to 20. Guys, we are 30 away from hitting a half-a-year streak on the tip goal. No, wait. Not 30. Wait. 15. That was a $5. 20 Yes, 30. 30. Okay, I got it right the first time. We are 30 away from hitting a half-a-year streak on the tip goal. Exciting. Half a year of tip goal. That is... wow. Yeah, the losers used Yahoo, MSN, meant you were super tech. I used a little bit of both. I don't remember using Yahoo in middle school, but I remember, what was it? It was like the games you could play on Yahoo. Do you guys remember those? Like the pool games? It was like the first time you could play pool with people online. I remember using Yahoo for that. It was really, really cool. I was super young, and I remember thinking that you could say anything in the chat box and the other people would believe you. For some reason, my young, stupid brain believed that. Like, I thought, hey, I can type whatever I want into the chat box and they'll believe it. So I would like tell people on the internet that I was like super famous and rich and a celebrity and stuff, and I'd be like 10 years old laughing. Like they think I'm super rich and famous, and they think I'm this random celebrity, and like I actually thought they believed me. I remember doing that. I thought it was the coolest thing in the world. I'm playing Gex 2 on PS1. The camera sucks. Yes, the camera angles was a huge problem for older games. I think a lot of old COD and GTA games give me that feeling of, wow, this sucks now. Yeah, most do. Most give me that feeling. I liked AIM, but MSN was better. Yes, AIM. I've been getting a lot of 90s TikTok channels popping up and loving it all. Dude, I follow quite a few of those, actually. Late one tonight. What's up, Yolando? What is up, man? It is a late one tonight. It is a late one tonight. We are 30 away from a half-year tip goal streak, so it's like a pre-party. Assuming we hit tip goal, we're having like a pre-party right now. We're just having nostalgia, memory lane. It's a big night with a half a year, and thank you, Soccer Mom, for reminding me. Half a year tip goal. So Mario 64, great game. Mario 64, I have a ton of memories with. My grandmother introduced me to Mario 64, believe it or not, and of course I was young for that too, but I really, really enjoyed it. I have a lot of memories of Mario on the N64. N64 GoldenEye didn't age well. It didn't age well, but people still love it. It's super popular. Nothing really aged that well. Nothing really aged that well in the terms of old school gaming, but that's okay. Nostalgia makes it okay. Taught myself the something language, which I still know all of it. Linux and using command prompts just to learn. I never got into the whole command prompts thing. I know that a lot of people like to play around on those. School starts in 5 days for me. I love it because when school starts, my focus is usually directed on something else. I'm practically cured of anxiety during the entirety of it because you've got less time to think, right? That's what that's going to come down to. You've got less time to be doing worrisome negative thinking. So I hope you make that connection there. That way you realize that that's something that you can practice even outside of school. Many Game Genie codes for that I made myself. That's cool, Craig. Awesome. How do you make Game Genie codes yourself? That's interesting. So many ads tonight, guys. So many ads tonight. Can't handle it. You know what I'm craving tonight? You guys have got me in a nostalgia mood. I really just want to put on some, find like an old cartoon, maybe like Hey Arnold or Doug or something that I used to watch, put it on TV, get some pizza rolls, right? Get some pizza rolls out. That's what I want to do after stream. Maybe that's what I'll do. Maybe splurge and have a soda, even though I'm not supposed to have soda due to my stomach, but one won't hurt. So some games don't age well because they're playing a port on new hardware. Yeah, exactly. The ports can be really, really, really crappy. So we talked about retro video games and instant messengers, but what about TV shows? Not just movies, but movies, TV shows, cartoons, all of the above. What was your guys' favorite from your past? I have to say Hey Arnold or Doug. Rugrats, yes, was a very good one. As far as old sitcoms goes, Boy Meets World was my absolute favorite. I loved Boy Meets World. I was on a Kim Possible kick for a little bit growing up. I loved Kim Possible, the little fucking, what was he, a mole rat? But yeah, Kim Possible, Boy Meets World, Hey Arnold, Doug. What was that Nickelodeon show? It wasn't a cartoon. It was like real kids. And it was a contest. And you had to go through a temple and like, it was like an athletic contest. with courses. Legends of the Hidden Temple, was that it? Legends of the Hidden Temple, I think. I loved it. I loved it. Does anybody know what I'm talking about? Maybe I've got it wrong. I don't know. Grew up on Minecraft. That's crazy to me, dude. That is crazy to me. You must be super young because Minecraft came out, and I'm not talking about the first release of Minecraft when it was really crappy. I'm talking about actually the full release of Minecraft. Came out when I was like an adult. I was in my 20s probably. Well, no. Yeah, kind of, maybe. I don't know. That's actually an interesting question. It's my phone. All good, Craig. No problem, dude. Nickelodeon guts. Yeah, well, there's like the Nickelodeon slime factor or whatever. You get slimed and shit. But I'm talking about like Legends of the Hidden Temple, I believe it's called, where you had to run through the courses and shit. I used to love to watch that. Let me see if that's actually what it's called. Ed, Edd n Eddy, yes, another classic. Yes, that is what it was called. Legends of the Hidden Temple. I got it right. This right here. How many people remember this? Full House was also very good. I never watched Fuller House, though. I think everybody loved Ed, Edd n Eddy. I don't think there was anybody who didn't enjoy that one. After watching messed up theories on 90s, 2000s kids shows. Oh, yeah, don't watch those, dude. Don't watch those, because they kind of make sense. Don't watch those, because they kind of make sense. 33, okay, pretty close. Pretty close for you two. Let's get some purple hearts. Get some purple hearts going. We got a $5 tip from, oh man, I don't want to screw your name up. Danielle? Is that correct? Danielle, $5 tip from Danielle. Let's get some purple hearts going in the chat. Thank you so much. No tip note on that one, but thank you so much for the $5 tip. Appreciate you. We are 25 away from a half a year streak on the tip goal, guys. 25 away. So close. Thank you so much for the $5 tip. If we actually hit a half a year on the tip goal, that will be insane. I did not think we'd make it like past 15, but here we are, almost at a half a year. Thank you for the purple hearts, Adrian. Thank you, Charles. Thank you, Bo. Appreciate you. I finally remembered how to say your name after all these years. Ophelia, thank you for the purple hearts. Yes, guys, thank you. Always show the love, the gratitude to the tippers with the purple hearts. Let's see. When we start talking Rugrats AOL Messenger, you know you have to be close to 30. Yep. I am 28, getting ready to be 29. Next month, actually. Wow, I didn't even realize that until just now. I'm not depressed, you're depressed. Thank you for the purple hearts. Appreciate you. Thank you. No more gay Bell out. Yeah, no more, dude. You had to listen to me call you that for like 3 years. Because I wasn't willing. Alright, 1 second, 1 second, guys. Guys, I have returned. I have returned with snacks. I went and got me and I know I'm not supposed to be doing this. I know. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it, chat. But I went and got me a Mountain Dew. Okay, it's my first one in what? 2 days? 3 days? Okay, so I can have one every now and then. It's fine. And I got me a bag of, let's see, the official name, Fritos chili cheese. Some of the best Fritos that I think, personally, some of the best Fritos that I think you can get, that money can buy. So we got snacks, and we're here. Let's keep up the chat about the nostalgia, man. You guys got me in a nostalgia mood. We can't just drop it now. There's no getting off this train. Not at this point. Talking about Courage the Cowardly Dog, yes. Did anyone else feel like that shouldn't have been a kid's show, though? Or is that just me? It's probably just me, but I mean, it was horrifying. It absolutely was horrifying. And I don't see how it passed as a kid's show. I really don't. I'm sorry, by the way. I'm stuffing my face at the moment with some Fritos. SpongeBob. That's more of your time period, I suppose. Episodes are so weird, but they'd be so PG until that one random image of realistic up close Mr. Krabs. Yeah, those are freaky. Spooky, scary. What surprised you passed as a kid's show? Courage the Cowardly Dog. I'm surprised that passed as a kid's show. There was just so many questionable scenes from that show that were absolutely horrifying. And still kind of creep me out to this day, and I'm almost 30. Like, who remembers this, the episode from Courage, with the barber, the cousin, I think, cousin barber? Oh, that was terrifying. I'm gonna go to bed. Have to be up early for work. Thanks for all the helpful info. Of course, Ophelia. Of course. Sleep well. Sleep well. The deep dive theory videos of Courage are even more offsetting. Yes, don't watch those. They'll ruin it for you. They'll ruin all of your kids' shows' nostalgia for you. The stuff now that kids watch are horrendous. I wouldn't know, but I would imagine. I'd say you're right on that. I believe it. 100%. I did go down a rabbit hole once where I watched like the secret hidden messages in Disney movies. Some I believed, some was a bit of a stretch, like a bit of a stretch, but some were pretty accurate and pretty believable. So yeah, it is pretty gross. Episode I remember the most, super creepy. Yeah, dude, the barber from Courage was just, I don't know, like I said, horrifying. I still probably wouldn't watch that alone today. And that's saying something. When I can watch just about any horror movie out there alone in a dark room and be fine. But not that episode from Courage, the kids show cartoon. Definitely not. I'm going to be burpy now. Fair warning. Courage gave me anxiety as a kid. I believe it. I completely believe that, actually. Because same. The whole house in Nowhere Land gave me anxiety. Yes, right? Isn't that like just super weird? And not only is it just a house out by itself, which that in itself is not weird. It's the fact that it's in the middle of nowhere. There's no trees. There's no nothing. It's just flat land. And you can't see anything else. I don't know. It's very, very creepy. The stuff my toddler cousin watches aren't even shows. They're so weird at times. RGB color changing. Poorly photoshopped video of the Avengers and really bad 3D models dancing. Yeah, I've seen that. And they get millions of views, too. That's the part I don't understand. You watch these kids shows on, like, YouTube. Not just, like, TV, but on YouTube. And it's just really poorly photoshopped videos and rip-offs of other things. And they get millions of views. Like, I don't quite understand that. There's a lot of kids' channels that are very poorly made videos. And they rake in the money. And I just don't get it. I don't, it's so low effort. It's so low effort. Nobody even tried. But yet, they're extremely popular. I don't get that. Bob's Burgers. Yes, I love Bob's Burgers. I haven't watched that in a long time, though. Cleveland Brown are the best. I've never watched the Cleveland Brown show. Never watched it. Video of someone smashing a TV remote had over 8 million views. Yeah, well, that's the thing, too. Like, I know it doesn't really apply to the kids' shows, but there's like this ongoing theme where people purposely make stupid videos popular, and they do it because it's funny, and they do it for the memes. Like, oh, video of someone smashing a TV remote, let's blow that up to 8 million views and make it super, super popular, because why not? Because it's stupid, that's why. And then they do it, and then now you've got a video of a remote being smashed with 8 million views. They do it for the memes, and I wish someone would come on my channel and say, hey, let's just do it for the memes. Let's make this super popular. Cleveland Brown, please, you will love it. I'm going to say something that is controversial here. I was never that big of a fan of Family Guy. I know. Probably just lost a handful of subscribers right there. But I was never a big fan of Family Guy. It got really old to me really quick. And I think it's because I was pretty young when it became popular. And it's hard to believe that Family Guy's been out that long. It's pretty young when it became popular, so I didn't really understand the humor at the time, and a lot of it. Like, at the time, I didn't even realize the old man was a pervert. Like, that's how unaware I was. So I guess everybody watching it constantly around me, and I didn't really relate to the humor. I didn't understand the humor. I don't know. Then as I got older, I didn't have interest in revisiting it, so... I mean, Peter's funny, don't get me wrong. I like Peter. I like Stewie. But I never really caught on to it. Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Hold up. Jen. Jen, guys, get the purple hearts going. Jen with the $25 Cash App. And you know what that means? You know what that means, guys. We hit officially with that. Thank you so much, Jen. We have officially hit half a year worth of the tip goal. That is 183. Yes. Get some purple hearts going, guys. I know we're like almost an hour and a half into the stream, so there's probably not a whole lot of people here at the moment, but for those of you who are still here, please get some purple hearts going. Thank you so much, Jen. Appreciate you. That is officially 183, half a year of the tip goal. Thank you, guys. Thank you. By the way, if you're wondering why the little cloud guy is not popping up and doing his little jig and stuff, you have to use the link in the description for that if you want that sound effect to go off. If you go directly through the Cash App or the PayPal without using that link, he won't be triggered. So I don't want you guys to think I'm doing that on purpose or something. I'm not. But thank you so much. I appreciate you. Thank you. You guys are the best. Thank you. Wasn't a fan of Futurama. Yeah, I never got into Futurama either. Cleveland Brown shows just got a touch of Family Guy in it. Okay, I might give it a try, Remy. I might give it a try. You guys have me on a nostalgia kick tonight, though, so I'll probably be revisiting old cartoons tonight, to be honest. Boondocks. I did get into the Boondocks for a little bit. I don't know. Any of these, I want to say newer, but they're not really new at all, are they? Most of them are pretty old. But any of these cartoons that aren't from like my childhood, I never really got into. I'll be honest, I never really got into really any of them. I'm going to say something controversial again, and I don't know who will agree with me and who won't, but there is nothing more that I hate as far as cartoons, animation goes, whatever you want to call it, as The Simpsons. I hate The Simpsons. I don't know why people think it's funny. I don't know what's the appeal. The Simpsons to me are in this odd universe where they're not really vulgar and they don't really have dirty humor like South Park, for example, but at the same time they don't really have funny humor either. They're just somewhere in this odd universe by themselves where you have to have a very special sense of humor to enjoy watching The Simpsons, and I do not have that very special sense of humor, and I don't know many people who do, to be honest, but yet here we are, and it's like one of the most popular ongoing cartoons now, right? It's been around the longest, I think. Yeah, I just don't get it. I went to Docs and was all clear, but they are missing something probably. Oh no, not that rabbit hole. No. No, Remy, help me out here. Help me out on this one. Not the probably missed something one. Oh no, that's a bad one. No. You will spend your life telling yourself that they may have missed something, and then you'll always be worried. Some point we got to start pairing that with the accepting inner voice. We've got to make some changes on that. Nova, what are you whining about? Adrian loves The Simpsons, and I just like crapped on them. Beautiful response, Remy. It's gonna come down to what you tell yourself, whether or not it turns into suffering. All right, guys, it is 1:30 in the morning for me. This stream is at the hour and a half mark, so I'm probably going to go ahead and start to wind this one down here. We've had a beautiful night of memory lane and nostalgia and all that good stuff, so I appreciate you guys. This was a fun stream. Thank you for coming out and watching. Make sure you leave that thumbs up so we can try to hit that algorithm and continue to grow. I'd really like to hit 11K subs soon. We're right around the corner from it. I think we're like 200 away or so, some small number like that. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. We're going to wrap this one up, and I'll see you in the next one. Until next time, as always, stay awesome.